When he was a boy, my dad's dream was to one day move to America and to build a life here. He and my mom grew up in South Africa. Days after they got married, they moved here. I was born a couple of years later, the first to be born in America in my family. That's me with my parents when I was 10 weeks old. My perception of America has always been linked to my parents' story, to the sacrifices they made for my sister and I, and an appreciation of the opportunities that I had growing up here. In 2008, I was a fellow at the Kennedy School at Harvard, and I was doing what a lot of other people at the time were doing as well. I was reading incredible stories. Stories about American service members on their second, third, fourth deployment in Iraq or Afghanistan. Stories about people who are honoring the sacrifices of those who had come before through service. At some point in the course of that year, reading those stories, I decided that I wanted to be a part of that. I was 31 at the time, and I knew I was never going to be able to contribute as much as the people that I was reading about, but in some small measure, I felt like I had to be a part of it. I applied for a commission in the Navy. I was accepted. I remember going back and visiting with my mom and sitting her down at the kitchen table, told her about the decision. The first thing she did was start to cry. And then after a couple of seconds, she sort of tilted her head sideways, looked at me, and the first thing she said was, "You're joining the Navy, but you get seasick." And she was right. I do get seasick. As it turned out, I never did go out to sea. I did 2 years of reserve duty and then volunteered to deploy to Afghanistan. Spent a year in Afghanistan as part of something called the Commander's Initiative Group. It's a small team that provides advisory and staff support directly to the commander. During my year there, I spent a short while alongside my teammates working under General Petraeus and spent most of the year working in support of General John Allen. It was a full year, and it was certainly a special privilege to be able to work in support of two such extraordinary leaders. When I reflect on the year, the part of it that's most special for me was the chance to be a teammate with those same men and women that I'd been reading stories about. It was a meaningful experience, and I'm very grateful for it. Got back about 2.5 years ago and got really excited about the idea of trying to build something new. So I want to tell you about that, but my former boss, General Allen, was fond of saying that things are best explained in three. So I want to tell you about 3 projects that I've been working on since getting back from the deployment. The first is a media company called NationSwell. And as I said, I was very excited about building something new that was in some way connected to national service. So I started reading about what was going on in the country, just devouring articles and literature. And I found that it was exceedingly easy to read about the challenges, the problems, and what we were getting wrong. But it was much more difficult to read about the people who are actually trying to solve those problems, to get a focus on the solutions, the people who are trying to chart the way forward. So I thought about that for a little bit, searched around to try to discover it, and in the course of doing that, I just really wanted to discover those people, explore those solutions. I found that what I was looking for didn't really exist, so that's what we decided to build. NationSwell is a media company dedicated to elevating the solutions to America's greatest challenges. There are 2 main elements to the company. The first is a digital platform where we tell stories about innovators and organizations who are doing some of the most creative things to take aim at some of our biggest national challenges, bridging the opportunity divide, making government work, advancing national service, and preserving our environment. We're passionate about trying to find those people and telling compelling, powerful stories about them. We've been soft launched for a little less than a year. And in that time, we've been privileged to tell some remarkable stories about incredible men and women who are doing great things to tackle poverty, end homelessness, alleviate hunger, empower veterans, and much more. So far, around 6 million people have viewed our content. We're particularly proud of our mini documentaries, short films that have been able to drive some significant impact to some of the people and organizations that we've profiled throughout the course of the year. The second part of the company is something called the NationSwell Council. It's a membership network and event series for a terrific group of people leaders in business, finance, government, media, technology, the arts, and more, who are all passionate about service. We hold regular events for our members where they engage with discussion with leading innovators around those innovators' mission and their challenges, curate dinners and service trips, and much more. It is a vibrant community built around service and designed to be a platform to enhance members' ability to serve. Our mission at NationSwell is to amplify the solutions to our country's challenges and to provide people a platform to engage, to serve, and to become more effective citizens. It's a mission that we're passionate about. The second project is called the Connecticut Heroes Project. It's an initiative designed to try to end homelessness amongst veterans in the state of Connecticut by the end of 2015 in alignment with the federal VA's goals for the country. And so far, we've been able to move the needle a little bit. We partnered with leading stakeholders in the state to develop the first ever state-based plan to achieve the goal by the end of 2015. We got an endorsement from our governor, secured millions of dollars in state funds for programs that came from recommendations from the plan. And together with our partners, we estimate that we've been able to cut the homeless veteran population by about 15 to 20%. We have a long way to go, and the next 14 months are going to be very challenging, but we're excited about the possibilities. I mentioned that I would tell you about 3 projects. This next one is my favorite. About 18 months ago, my wife, Caitlin, and I welcomed Claire into the world, and this project has been the source of much joy. My hope for her is the same one I think that compelled my parents to move halfway across the world all those years ago. It's that she has the opportunity to pursue her dreams and the chance to realize her full potential. My hope is that when she thinks of her dad, she'll think I did my small part to help. Thank you.